Hi everyone, this is Bandu007 and I am presenting this video as an introduction to electronic cigarettes, a very generalized guide to what electronic cigarettes are, what's available if you're interested in getting into it, what type of things you would want to purchase to have a good experience with electronic cigarettes. I've seen a lot of videos out there that review and describe in great detail a lot of these pieces of equipment, but you have to do a lot of searching around and digging and looking at individual videos to find exactly what you want. And I haven't seen one that kind of just gives a broad brush generalized view of what everything's all about. So I thought I would throw this together. I keep running into the same questions when people see my e-cigs, and so I thought that this would be a good place to steer them to answer all those questions and give people a little more information about what's available. So first of all, electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes have been around not too long, about 5 or 6 years now. They have evolved quite a bit during that time. When they started off, they were pretty much all trying to mimic the look of a cigarette, usually with the white battery and the cork-colored cartridges so that they would look like cigarettes, tobacco flavor, all that stuff, trying to just be an electronic version of a cigarette. They have evolved quite a bit since then, and now you can get any type of device you want, any kind of flavor you want, and lots of choices out there, which can be a little confusing to somebody that's not familiar with it. So anyway, the electronic cigarettes, or PVs as they're called, that's how I like to refer to them. PV stands for personal vaporizer, because as you'll be able to see, most of my equipment does not really resemble a cigarette, and they're not supposed to be cigarettes. They are an alternative to smoking. The whole purpose of e-cigs or PVs are to give you all the things that you liked about smoking, the oral things that are going on, the nicotine, everything that you like about smoking, without all the bad stuff associated with smoking. The tar, the thousands of chemicals that give you cancer, the particulate matter that you're inhaling into your lungs that is caused by the combustion of cigarettes, which none of that stuff is in the electronic cigarettes. So it's a great product, and it has helped me to avoid smoking cigarettes for quite some time now, and I don't miss it a bit. I really don't. So that's why they are. Now, what are they? Well, every electronic cigarette or PV has basically a battery which allows it to function. Some of them look like cigarettes, some of them do not. There's also an atomizer, which is basically a heating element that heats up the liquid. That is what you will be consuming, is a liquid. We call it e-liquid, and that contains the nicotine, if you so choose, contains water and some form of base like vegetable glycerin or propylene glycol, and flavoring. And sometimes people freak out when they hear propylene glycol. It is a very common FDA approved substance. It's used in medicines, it's used in cake mix and toothpaste and wine, and it's not harmful to you to ingest. Neither is the flavorings are USDA food grade flavorings, and so everything in the liquid is fine to consume and will not hurt you. A lot of people ask about the nicotine. When I say I'm using electronic cigarettes, they say, is there nicotine in it? And I say, yes, of course there is. That's why I do it, to some extent. And their response is, oh, well, that's bad for you. Well, not so much. The nicotine is one of the addictive parts of cigarettes, but the chemical in itself is not any more harmful to you than caffeine, which a lot of us ingest some in large quantities on a daily basis. High cholesterol food. There are a million things in life that aren't technically good for you, but in moderation, you know, they won't hurt you. So the nicotine in itself is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I wouldn't start on a nicotine regimen out of the blue to get healthy or anything like that. But it's not going to hurt you. That's not what kills you in cigarettes. It's all the other stuff that's involved with getting the nicotine into your body. So with that being said, all the products that I'm going to demonstrate here come from a company called Volcano. There are a lot of e-cigarette companies out there, some good, some bad. Some offer good stuff, some offer junk. But I have found that Volcano is a great company to work with. All of their products are top-notch. Their prices are competitive. The best thing about Volcano I found is their customer service is really second to none. Some of the best folks you'll deal with on the internet by far. And the forums on their webpage are very helpful, staffed by very knowledgeable people that are very willing to help out new people with questions. If you get some of this equipment, go on the Volcano forums and you'll probably have some questions when you get started. I know I did. And anytime I would ask the question, I would almost immediately be given lots of good advice and answers to my questions. So there's a very good support system with Volcano e-cigs. Their webpage is volcanoecigs.com, and later in the video I'll tell you about how you can, if you're interested in purchasing from them, there's a way you can get a discount on your first order and lots of good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to describe the Volcano line, what they offer. There are a lot of companies, as I said, that offer similar type things, but they'll have different names for them. There's kind of three basic sizes or styles of e-cigarettes on the market today. There's new stuff coming out all the time, but right now there's three big ones. The first one is the mini size, the mini e-cig. A company called Blue, which I don't really recommend. I've heard a lot of bad stories about their delays and waits and not fixing incorrect orders and things like that. They're probably the most well advertised e-cigarette company out there, but I would steer clear of purchasing from them. But the Blue cigarette is similar to this the smaller size of the Volcano line, which is the Volcano, just because that was the first one that they came out with when the company started. But I don't have a Volcano model right now. I've never used one. I have some friends that do, but I have the middle model, which is the Magma, which operates basically the exact same way as the Volcano, with just a couple small differences. So I'm going to show you the Magma. Is, first of all, comes with a handy little charger pack. Looks like a pack of cigarettes, and except it's black and plastic. In the pack is this little doodad. This is the battery. Has a little screw-on end. Has a LED light on the other end. This is the length of the battery. This is a regular size battery. They come in mega batteries, which are a little longer and have a longer life before you have to recharge them. But this is the battery. Now, you have to have something that connects to the battery to heat up the liquid, and this is called an atomizer. This is the magma atomizer. Down inside there is a little heating element, just a little cup like that, and we screw the atomizer onto the battery like so. Now we have a longer length. Now here's where it gets interesting. There are a big variety of ways to get the liquid into the atomizer. Right now we've got a battery and we've got something that's going to heat up. But what are we going to put in there to heat up? Well, the liquid, which here's just a bottle of e-liquid. This is what you will be using. And I would say smoking, but these aren't cigarettes. I'll use the term vaping because we're producing vapor, we're producing water vapor. So we don't smoke, we vape. Right, so what are we going to be vaping? How are we going to be vaping? Well, most people, or a lot of people, start off with these little cartridges. This is a little mouthpiece hole in the end there. And you'll see down inside there is some foam, and see some liquid on there. Well, this little cartridge is filled with a small amount of that liquid, some foam down in there just to help the liquid get out the end and not spill out, but to kind of wick its way out. And all we do is attach the cartridge onto the atomizer. Now, in this way, the foam with the liquid soaked into it is going to be touching down inside the heating element in the atomizer. Then all you have to do is draw like you would on a cigarette. And this one does look very similar to the size of a cigarette. This is an automatic battery, which means when I draw in, there's a sensor inside the battery that's going to feel when the air flows through it, and it will turn itself on, the light will glow, and it will heat up that liquid inside. And you get a nice little puff of vapor there. I'll try another one. It's a little better. Got warmed up there. These cartridges will last for, depends on how often you use them. I would say if you're use this regularly, as if you were using as much as a pack-a-day smoker, you might go through, say, 4 of these cartridges during the course of a day. And you can always refill them as well. You can, when they start to dry out, you can just take the liquid and you can just put a drop liquid down in there and fill that up. So the cartridges themselves, if you're lazy, you can just use them up and then toss them. If you're frugal, you can get a bottle of liquid and keep refilling them. So that's a good way to go. This is what I started on. I haven't used a magma for a while, so this is nostalgic for me. Now another type of battery. This is the automatic battery. There's also a manual battery. You'll see it looks the same in size, except there's a button right there. When I push the button down, it turns the battery on. Now the advantage of this is that you don't have to have a continuous sucking on the PV in order to activate the battery like you do on the other one. So you can turn it on without even having your mouth on it. It can start to heat up the liquid before you even start to take a draw. You can draw in at any velocity you want to, whereas on the automatic batteries you have to keep a nice steady draw, and a lot of times the light will cut out, it will stop heating if you're not drawing in hard enough. This one, it doesn't matter. So I'm able to get a little more vapor production that way, and it's a little easier to control what you're doing if you use a manual battery. And this one, this one is silver. The ones on this is actually not from Volcano, but the Volcano manual batteries are black. Now, another method you can use with, this is the cartridges. If you get the Magma starter kit, the deluxe kit, you'll get 5 boxes of these, 5 cartridges in each, so you'll get 25 of these cartridges are included in the kit. It would last, it would last a week or so on those cartridges. This is the least effective way of delivering the liquid to the atomizer. It does not work as well as the other methods. What are the other methods? Well, what you can do is you can take the atomizer again and add one of these little babies. This is called a drip tip. Looks like this. It's hollow. It's just a hollow little mouthpiece. Nothing to it. I'm going to just stick that right on the end of the atomizer. And what does this do? Well, not too much. But it does help us to do what we call dripping. When we do dripping, we're taking the liquid and we're dripping it or dropping it right onto the atomizer. And what we're going to do is take our liquid, we're going to put 2 drops right down in the hole there. Okay? And then we're going to wait a second for it to soak into the atomizer, and then we're going to have a nice good vape. Yummy. Now the advantages of dripping are that the taste is really good. You always get a good strong hit of vapor like that. The only disadvantages are that those 2 drops will only be good for, say, 5 or 6 of those good puffs, and then after that you have to put in 2 more drops. So you're going to be carrying a bottle of liquid around with you all the time, which sometimes it doesn't matter, but if you're out working or out and about town, or if you're driving especially, is the worst place for dripping, because just like texting or cell phone use or any other distractions, it doesn't do well. It's not safe. So dripping, don't drip and drive. It's bad for you. It's dangerous. So don't do it. But very good. So we can drip. We can use our cartridges. We can drip with the drip tip. And again, we just have the battery and the atomizer, right? And then there's a third way that we can get the liquid into the atomizer, and that is with this little device. It's called a cartomizer, and what it is, it's a combination of the atomizer, which is just the heating element. There's a juice reservoir in there as well to hold a certain amount of liquid. And the atomizer is down inside of this. And so with this, all we do is screw this on, and now it's a two-piece unit. We have the battery, and then we have this one other piece, which is the atomizer and the liquid reservoir at once. So you don't have to put a cartridge on here. The cartridge is already built in, which makes it very convenient. And these come in two different styles. This is the regular cartomizer, and then they come in this style, which is called a clearomizer. And you can see that it's see-through. You can see liquid down in there, and you can see you can actually see the heating element inside that little ring. Okay, so you have to take a syringe. And they sell these on the site too, a refill kit that has a syringe, and you inject the liquid down there. And there's a lot of videos that show you the exact technique of doing all this stuff. So you put your liquid down in there, and then you can just screw this on, and then you can vape right from this device. I'm going to stick a drip tip on the end of this just as a little mouthpiece, just to make it a little handier. There's no, it doesn't have to be on there. It just makes it nicer, nice little mouthpiece to use. And we'll try this. So that works very well. And you can hear, I don't know if you heard, when I push the button, you can actually hear the liquid heating down inside there, and that's what's producing the vapor that you're going to inhale. So that works very well. So those are your three basic delivery systems. One other thing on the cartomizers and the clearomizers. For one thing, they are, that's the atomizer. Here's the cartomizer and the clearomizer. They're the same thing. This is just a steel case cylinder, and this is a clear plastic cylinder. But they are pretty much the exact same thing. The inside of the cartomizer looks just like the inside of the clearomizer, you just can't see it. They also come in a mega size. This is the regular cartomizer. This is the mega cartomizer. Holds twice as much liquid. And the clearomizer, here's the regular clearomizer, and here's the mega clearomizer. It holds twice as much liquid. So you can choose the smaller size is a little more portable and convenient for some people. The longer size makes it a larger device, but you only have to fill it half as often, so it can be a little handier in that way. Now the Volcano model, as I mentioned, is the smaller one. It basically works just like the Magma, which I showed you. It's just the fact that the battery on the Volcano is a little shorter, a little thinner, does not last as long between charges, and the atomizer, the heating element, does not heat up as warm as the Magma, so you're not going to get quite as much vapor. So it's a little more of a lightweight device, but it works in the exact same way. In fact, you can use dripping or the cartridges or even the cartomizers on the Volcano as well. You just have to recharge it a little more frequently. Now the handy thing with the Magma and the Volcano, they have the little charging pack there. When my battery dies, which happens from time to time, you stick it inside there, push the button, the battery starts to blink, it starts to charge itself up. So while you are vaping with one battery, you have the other one in the pack recharging, and then when that one dies on you, you just swap them out, recharge one, you have a new fresh one to go. So this is good to have out when you're out and about with the Magma or the Volcano. And then it itself charges simply with a USB cord on a computer or a wall outlet, and it's good to go. Then all the batteries also come with little chargers that you can screw into a wall outlet. You can charge any of these batteries either in the pack, portably on the go. You can charge them with a little USB screw-on device that you can charge in a computer, or plug it into the little wall device and charge it on a wall. So you can pretty much charge it anywhere that you are. They have a car charger as well, so anywhere you are, you can charge any of these batteries, no problem. The battery life on the Volcano and the Magma are kind of a drawback for both those, because you do have to recharge them pretty often. The Volcano if you're using it regularly, you'll have to recharge it every 20 minutes or so. The Magma every 45 minutes or so, which can get to be a little tedious if you use them regularly throughout the day. Which brings us to the third model that Volcano offers, and this is called the Inferno. Here is an Inferno battery. You'll see now we don't look like a cigarette at all. The Inferno battery is much bigger than the Magma battery. Here's a comparison. This is the regular Magma battery. This is the Inferno. It's a bit thicker and longer. But the good thing is that the Inferno battery will last you. This is the 1000 milliamp per hour super battery. This will last for well over a day without having to recharge. And then the smaller one, this is the smaller Inferno battery. They come in two different sizes, slightly smaller. This is the 650 mAh battery, and it actually can be used as a pass-through battery. On the end it has a little USB port, and you can plug it directly into your computer with a USB plug or a wall. You see the red light indicates that it's charging. You can use this as you are vaping using your computer. In fact, you can leave it plugged in, use it, and it's constantly recharging itself, so it never runs out of batteries. And produces a ton of vapor. This is what I use all the time. The Magmas and Volcanos are nice, you know, especially if you're getting started and missing the look and feel of your cigarette. But trust me, if you get into vaping, that goes away really quickly, and pretty soon you don't like the smell or looks of cigarettes, and you don't want your stuff to look like a cigarette. But that's a personal preference. Anyway, the Inferno battery, and again, like I said, these are all Volcano branded equipment. This is you'll see this in other places, called the Ego the Magma. You'll see them called all sorts of different brand names from different companies. It's what's called the Magma is what's known as a 510 size battery, and the smaller Volcano is mini e-cig or L88. These are all companies basically offer the same general type of equipment, but again, I just go with Volcano because, as I said earlier, it's just a super company, and I enjoy dealing with them. They treat you well as a customer. And so the difference of the Inferno battery again is that it's a longer life before you have to recharge it, and in fact the life of the battery is so long that they don't even offer the charging packs to go with these because they're unnecessary. You can charge it at night like your cell phone, and just like your cell phone, it will last a day or two or more without having to recharge it. Pop it on the charger at night when you go to bed, and you're good for the next day or two. Again, with the pass-through battery, this may not last for an entire day, but I use this most of the time when I'm home in the evenings working on the computer. I'll have it plugged in and just use it like that. Unplug it in the morning, take it to work. It lasts me all day at work easily until I can get home and recharge it. And I just take my other one as a backup just in case it runs out, because you never want to be without your working equipment. You don't want to have to go back to those nasty cigarettes. So the Infernos can use anything that work on any of the other pieces of equipment. Here's the Magma atomizer that I used earlier. All of the threadings are the same. They fit on there. So I'm just going to put my Magma atomizer right on there, just like I did with the Magma battery. These are the Magma batteries. This is the same thing. It's just a battery. It's a big battery. And I can put on a drip tip on top of that, and I can drip. Now the Inferno comes with these little cones. This is an Inferno cone, and it's a hollow piece. It is pretty much cosmetic. You just slide it down over top. It just covers up the atomizer or whatever's inside there. It makes it look nicer. It makes the draw a little bit better too. It helps the air inside there warm up before you vape it. And just makes it look like a nice one-piece unit. Take that off there, and you're good to go. You can drip. You can pop on this is a Mega Cartomizer, and again it's got the atomizer and the liquid reservoir built in to it. Pop another drip tip on it. Looks like that. Slide the cone over it, make it look nice, and now if you heard that gurgling sound, that was because I had too much liquid in there. That happens from time to time. I just blew out the excess out of the bottom into a paper towel, and very nice. So this can be used in many different configurations. Now the vapor you see, again, this is it's basically water vapor. It's not harmful to others around you. There's no secondhand smoke. There's no smoke at all. It does not smell. I know you can't smell on the video, but trust me, it does not leave any odor. A lot of times if I'm kind of discreetly vaping in a public place, most people won't even know that I'm doing it. They can't smell it. If you do smell anything, usually it's a faint, fruity smell, maybe like the smell of somebody chewing some fruity bubble gum beside you. You might get a little whiff of a nice little aroma, but that's about all you'll ever get from the vapor that's coming out. So that's another nice side effect of vaping versus smoking. You don't smell, you don't get illnesses. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, vaping. Now the other thing that's only available on the Inferno is what's called a tankomizer, and this is a new product. Just came out about a month ago or so, and it looks like the cone that I put on earlier. This is the cone. That's just the hollow shell that goes over top of your equipment. This one actually is not hollow. This is screws on to the Inferno battery, and it screws on like an atomizer. In fact, there's an atomizer down inside there. Underneath that silver plate is the heating element, and you'll see coming out of the little silver plate down in there is a little spike. And what that does is you have these little tanks. It's just a little tank full of liquid that you put in there. Easy to put the liquid inside. There's a little hole in the bottom of the tank, and you slide that little cartridge of liquid, or the tank, down inside of this. That spike down inside of there is actually gone up into that hole, so it's drawing the liquid down into the atomizer, the heating element. And just like a cartomizer or a clearmizer, you don't have to put two pieces on. With this, it's just a one-piece unit, and it works out. This one is I haven't used yet. Sometimes if you just do a little couple of puffs without pushing the battery down, or without pushing the button down, we'll get the juice in there and it'll work better. So that works good. This is very convenient. Really is super convenient. You can fill that tank up and it will last several hours without having to drip or change your cartridges or refill the cartomizer or anything like that. These are really handy, so that's another option for you. So basically those are the big three models that Volcano offers. The Volcano, the smaller one, the Magma, the mid-size, and then the Inferno is the big one. Every one of them, every electronic cigarette made is basically a battery, a heating element, or an atomizer, and liquid. So it's a combination of the size and shape of the battery, the type of atomizer, and the way in which the liquid is delivered to the atomizer. And that's it in a nutshell. That's how electronic cigarettes work. So if you're wondering which one should I get, that's like asking what car should I get. It depends. It depends on if you want a high-performance sports car to zip around town and impress the ladies, or if you're a family that needs a minivan to pick up the groceries and take the kids to soccer, or If you want a four-wheeler to go up in the woods, to go hunting, it really depends. It's personal preference on what you like. I mean, it's all kind of different ways of arriving at the same point, which is just getting smoking-like sensation and getting nicotine into your system in a healthy way. So a lot of people do start off with the volcanoes, and the smaller ones. A vast majority of those people very soon upgrade and get the bigger ones because they're oftentimes dissatisfied with the small amount of vapor that you get from the smaller ones. And countless people that I know of started off with one of the smaller models and ended up getting a volcano within 2 or 3 weeks of their initial purchase, which is kind of a waste of money, really, because quite honestly, I don't use my Magma like ever, really. I use the Inferno almost exclusively now, just because of the it's so easy and you don't have to worry about recharging and all that stuff. Much less hassles, and it's up to you. But each one of them, if you go to the web page, they'll have kits that have different. They have all the equipment that I showed you here, and they have different setups. If you're going to get the Magma, I would suggest you get the Magma Deluxe kit that has the charging pack. It has 2 of the automatic batteries. Now that's the only thing with the batteries. Come in different styles of automatic versus the manual batteries with the push button. The Magma kit comes with just 2 automatic batteries. So if you want a manual battery for the Magma, you have to order it as a separate item. The Volcano, the smaller model, does not have the option of a manual battery. They only come in the automatic. Magma, you can choose automatic or manual, and the Inferno, the big one, only has the manual battery. And you'll notice it does not light up on the end either, because once you step up to an Inferno, you're not as concerned with the little glowing on the end and looking like a cigarette. Because like I said, I personally don't really want mine to look like a cigarette anyway, because I don't smoke. I'm not a cigarette smoker. I'm a vapor now. So anyway, if you are interested in getting any of this stuff, if you found this information helpful to you and you want to help a brother out, one of the things the Volcano has is a referral program. Once you place an order, if you refer anybody else to the company that places an order, they'll give you points, which is good for credits on future orders that you make, which is just a way, a nice little thank you for referring more people to the company. And that's not the purpose of me making this video. It's really not. If you don't want to do to help me out, that is perfectly fine. I'm glad to just kind of educate everybody and show you what these devices are all about. But here's my email address right there. If you want to send me an email, I can send you a link to the Volcano webpage that if you use that link, it will credit my account for a referral. If you don't want to, that is perfectly okay. You can just go to volcanoecigs.com, volcanoecigs.com, and just check it out, look around. There's a lot of good stuff on the site, including some tutorial videos about a little more in depth about these the different models. A lot of good how-to videos on there, and check out the forums. They are very helpful as far as teaching new users what everything's about, and answering any questions that you have anytime, day or night. You want to pop in there, I guarantee your questions will be answered by very knowledgeable folks very quickly. And but also if you send me an email, I will reply to your email as a thank you to you, and I'll send you a code that you can use for 10% off of your first order at Volcano. So can't beat that. Anyway, these are all of the different types of e-cigarettes, and I hope you found this helpful. If you're a smoker, please consider these as a good alternative to what you're doing, which is killing yourself. I smoked for 28 years, and I tried countless times to quit and was never able to. I tried everything from cold turkey, Chantix, gum, patches, everything. Nothing ever worked for me. This works like a charm. I have absolutely, definitely quit smoking for the first time in my life, which is an awesome feeling. So I just wanted to share this with everybody. So hopefully some of you will join me in this great alternative to smoking. So thanks for watching.